In 2026, we can say that most things that we use in life are made to make our lives more convenient. It could be simple technologies such as your phone, for example. The fact that you can order whatever food you want directly to your door with delivery services, that's a form of convenience. Or, what I was thinking was in modern smart devices, right? We have all these technologies of like smart home, Alexa. What else do we have? Like Siri, I guess? I guess that counts. Or maybe if you have a vehicle. If you compare vehicles, cars from nowadays with cars from just 5 years ago, you have way more features that can be that ease your driving experience, whether it's cruise control, whether it's just a better UI interface system, or even auto braking, right? But I'm gonna tell you why I think that I'm gonna tell you why I actually hate these convenient technologies. Not that not that we should go back to the caveman era, go back before any of these technologies, but I'm gonna tell you why sometimes having a little bit of inconvenience, having a little bit of friction is actually very important. So I need to talk a bit about the backstory of where I got this idea. So recently I've had the experience of being able to drive an electric car. And I'm gonna tell you, I do not like the experience at all. So with this electric car, if we're gonna compare it with a car that I have from a car that I've driven from the past, like maybe a Kijang LGX with just a simple stick shift, right? There's lots of features that the modern car has. For example, the electric car is a Wuling Bingo, for example. So I'm just gonna talk about that for a moment. So you can open the car just by unlocking the door. And once you get in after unlocking the door, you don't need to do anything. You're immediately ready to drive. With an old school car, you need to open the door, you need to put your key inside the key fob and then turn the ignition. You get it, right? And they also have these amazing and they also have these technologies of like, let's say, for security, they make it hard for you to go to drive or reverse if you don't have your seatbelt on, which makes sense. They made that for safety reasons, right? You want to prevent a driver from recklessly driving at high speeds without a seatbelt. So they force you to put the seatbelt on, right? However, the thing with most of these automatic systems, right? The fact that everything needs to be accessed via the digital display, via the dashboard, right? When everything's automatic, everything's done for you, when you don't need to do anything, that means you don't control anything either. There's a lack of control involved with this. Yes, that's a good safety feature that forces you to wear a seatbelt. But what if you actually just need to move your car forward just 1 meter because you want to clear the door so you can pass, right? You just want to micro adjust the parking spot. That's gonna be an inconvenience, right? So the thing that I'm trying to tell you is that when you have an automatic system, ideally they should always have a manual failsafe. You should always have a manual override. So what they should at least have a setting that you can control it completely manually with the responsibility that you know what you're doing in case one of the system breaks. Because if you think about it, right? I know it sounds cliche, but if the system does everything for you, are you using the system or is the system using you? You're just autopiloting. You're not the driver anymore. You're just the passenger. The car makes the decision. The car makes the decisions for you. They control everything for you. You don't need to do anything. And I don't think that's a good thing, honestly. With all these conveniences, if you don't have a manual override as a failsafe, that means you're not controlling the car at all. It's controlling you. So what am I trying to say in this video? Am I saying that we should go back to the age where cars are completely manual, no features like cruise control or like auto braking or whatever stuff there is out there? No, I'm not saying that. What I'm just saying is, And it's just and it's not just about cars. It's about anything that involves decreasing the friction, making things more convenient. That's amazing technology, okay? It's an amazing option to be able to use GoFood to order food directly to you in a pinch. But what I'm saying is we should not rely too much on that. Over reliance is never good. You still need to be able to function as a normal human with soft skills, hard skills, and just general skills that you know how to do. Without those, those skills that you have, what you're able to do as a human, like driving an actual normal manual car with nothing onto it, that's a failsafe as well. That's also a failsafe in case all the systems break. Even though a manual failsafe override is complex, difficult to learn, high skill floor, it's reliable. If your electric car system breaks, if your modern car, something happens with the software, you're not able to drive it. But with a manual car, it's like at the end of the day, a manual car is the most basic form of a car. You got an engine with a transmission and gears. If you know how to operate that, you'll be fine. Once again, that's what I'm saying. We cannot ditch just we cannot ditch the we cannot ditch the importance of analog manual systems. And I think this is also why nowadays we can say that it's a trend. We can say that it's a trend that people are going back to these old manual analog systems. You look at Instagram, look at social media, you will notice that lots of people are actually hating on the new smartphone cameras. But more people are actually going back to the old vintage digicams of the 2000s, right? It's no coincidence. It's no coincidence that there are many people, many hobbyists ditching modern forms of music, Apple Music, Spotify, and they're going back to analog systems like vinyl plates, CDs, cassettes. For most people, for most people, it seems like just a hobby of, a niche hobby of an inconvenient way to listen to music. But you can't ignore the fact that there's a magic to it. You actually experience the thing. You actually enjoy the experience much more if you have to kind of struggle for it. I know I might be talking in a tangent, but I hope you get my idea with this video. That's all I have to say for this video. What do you think? Do you think that the modern day conveniences are actually making us weaker, less capable? Do you think that the old analog manual systems of yesteryear are actually a good experience that makes us enjoy the experience even more? Tell me what you think in the comments. Until then, I'll see you in the next video.